If you're an artist, you probably have this problem. You have a bunch of tools for your craft, but you haven't used them in months. I have that problem. I haven't used my tools in months. I'm a musician. I have a lot of synthesizers and other instruments, guitars, all sorts of stuff that I've collected over the years because I consider myself a musician. But when I actually look at myself and look in the mirror in the morning, I realize I'm not really playing a lot of music. So I started a creative project so that I can actually make music. And here's how it works. And the idea behind the project is that there's these aliens that are pushing me to complete this project that I need to make. So a lot of the time when I'm trying to make art, I get stuck at the decision-making phase of what ideas do I want to put down on my medium? What notes do I want to play? What do I want to sing? What do I want to say about the world or what's going on? I get stuck in those decisions and I can't make a decision. I can't choose, this is what I want to say. Maybe it's because of our politically correct landscape. Maybe it's because of how everything's stratified and it feels like nothing matters anymore. But these feelings, I'm sure, are not unique to me. So I created this process to sort of break out of that decision paralysis when you're making art, and it's called Decision-Paralysis Aliens from Inner Space. And it's this project that I created to just skip those decisions, to outsource those decisions, because they don't really matter. What really matters is the actual act of making art. When you're actually in the creative flow, putting pencil to paper, putting notes into your interface and recording them, actually doing the act of creating art. That's what really matters. Not the decisions that you're thinking about when you're asking yourself, do I want it to sound like this? What are people going to think about it? You get stuck in those decisions, they paralyze you, and you don't actually create art. I've experienced it. I know a lot of artists that experience it, and I'm sick of it. I don't want that for anybody. I don't want that for artists that I know. I don't want that for people that I care about, and I don't want that for art in general because I think that's a bad thing. It just leads to more of this stuff, all this uninspired, drab, boring stuff that doesn't actually reflect life experience. So this project skips those decisions that paralyze artists and gets them into creating. So for this project, I'm randomizing a lot of my decisions and saying, how many songs are going to be on the album? Who knows? Anywhere between 3 and 7, but this random spinner is going to pick it. Which instruments am I going to play on each track? Who knows? I'm going to let the spinner decide. It takes away a lot of the decisions that artists get stuck in and just gets them to the good stuff, the making of the art, what they actually enjoy to do ideally, what fuels their soul when they're able to look at a completed project that they made and have that feeling of happiness and fulfillment. That's what I want for artists. That's what I want for myself. And randomizing your decisions skips over the messy stuff that really isn't important to making your art. You'll make decisions along the way, is the idea. I'm gamifying art so that I actually have a result at the end. Whatever I create is going to be art by definition. It's going to come from me. But a lot of the decisions that I would normally have to make to create that kind of art, I'm deciding on in a total of 15 minutes. Think about kids and how much fun they have with creativity. They're unburdened by all these different constructs and societal norms and all this stuff that prevents us from being our true selves, that surrounds us and smothers us. So one of the things that really gets to me is that my friends and fellow creatives in everyday life and myself, we all gather objects that signify our desire to be creative. We gather these things that help us create art, but we don't actually use them. I have synthesizers, I have a slide whistle, I have a guitar, I have all sorts of different random tools or instruments that I've gathered through the years. Some of them I've considered instruments that you may not consider an instrument, like a telegraph key. I got this telegraph key from this Volkswagen swap meet a couple years ago, and I've always wanted to use it as an instrument. And I've just never really figured out, how am I going to do that? How am I going to use that? I have to come up with the right idea. It has to make sense. But with this idea, with Decision Paralysis Aliens from Inner Space, all I'm going to have to do is put it on a spinner wheel. And if the spinner selects it, I'm going to have to use it on a specific song. It removes the decision paralysis around using one of these unique or strange instruments that I've always wanted to use, and just puts that instrument into a song that I now have to create. Because I'm gamifying the art that I'm making, so that I can take my life back and be the artist that I want to be. And I hope that you join me on my channel and watch these videos that I create, because I hope that there's some insightful stuff that you can take away for yourself from it. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.